Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? I guess we'll try this again. I believe this is take 3 on our podcast for the week because yesterday we had 2 takes. Our internet was up and down and in and out, and so we had to put it off a day, but I figured instead of skipping it until next week, we would take a few minutes today and hang out with you all. You saw the thumbnail. I've been thinking about some of these guitars I've been playing, and they've been super fun. And so we're going to chat about that today. And just one of those things. If you have questions about guitar stuff, do me a favor, put it in the chat over here, and I will try to catch it. Obviously, I'm not as efficient at this as Leslie, so make sure you put a bunch of question marks in front of it, as well as throw some super chats my way if you want me to drop what I'm doing and answer your question right away. I want to real quick, thank all of my Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/DylanTalksTone. We've been revamping things over there to make it a little more value for you, giving you a little bit of content every week over there, which is pretty cool. A couple of videos last week, actually, that didn't make it onto the regular channel. So that's pretty cool, as well as our monthly hangout, which we did this Monday. Had a few people hanging out doing that. So there's a couple of levels over there for that, as well as here on YouTube, the little join button down there gets you all the same stuff. So there you go. And also do me a favor and check out DylanTalksTone.com because that... No, this way. Right there. That is where you go and get really good pickups, because that's what we really do, is good pickups. So, how's everybody doing? How is this week going for all of you? And let me put this on Do Not Disturb, because that is what we always forget to do before we do these podcasts. Also, are you going to put more than one pickup in the Esquire? I have not decided yet. That's the Esquire that's right over here, the Sonic Esquire. I don't know. I haven't decided. We might do something cool with that. We might put a couple pickups in it. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with that. Something fun, something that somebody on the internet's going to be like, you shouldn't do that because it's not an expensive guitar. But see, that's the thing. So that guitar, I've been playing it. It's really fun. It's $200. You should definitely get one. And you know, if you don't want that one, I would definitely recommend getting one of those, you know, whichever one in the series. Cause man, for $200, it's just fun. I'm glad they went back to a regular size kind of Fender neck. The Bullets used to have like a kind of a skinnier neck. Excuse me. And I really, really like that a lot. Yeah, it's really easy to play that thing. Dylan Talks Tone, my week got 100 times better when I saw that you had my P90s ready to ship. We did ship them today. Yes, those did go out today, I believe. And we shipped a bunch of stuff. So yeah. What good quality nylon string guitar would you recommend? So it depends what you want it for. One of the other guitars we were going to talk about today was that Close carbon fiber acoustic travel guitar. It's not the best one. The McPherson is way better, but it is so good and it's so fun. I've been playing it a bunch because I've been playing my McPherson too. What is wrong with my voice today? And they make that in a nylon, and it would be indestructible. You could take it anywhere. It would be super cool. Other than that, I just wouldn't go with one of the cheap, like student nylon guitars, you know, that you see for $300. I wouldn't get one of those. You know, the new, a cool electric one is the Ibanez Tim Henson signature. That thing's under $1,000 and it's very cool. That might be one too. That shim worked out great to bring the bridge up. I used the cardboard top off of a fender package. Excellent. Yeah, that's exactly what I do too. I just use packaging cardboard, like or even a business card for a shim in the neck pocket. It works really well. Yep. Excuse me. Good grief. Man, there's a whole bunch of projects going in the comments here today, which I think is really, really cool. Yeah. So well, we're making a bunch of P90s. We shipped a bunch today. We got another, I think there's 9 more over here to make. We'll probably make those later tonight. We got a bunch of S90s going out in the next couple of days. We've got a bunch more clear humbuckers going out in the next couple of days. We're busy. Super fun. We are getting the wait time down to a manageable level, which is really nice. I'm very thankful for that, because we have been busy. Yeah, Cordoba seems to do well as long as you buy a good one. You can get to really, really cheap ones. I wouldn't do that. As far as the nylon stuff, I think that's what I grew up playing when I was young, really young. My dad had a Cordoba, spruce top, rosewood back and sides, double bound. And that's what we had hanging on the wall in the living room. And that's what I played all the time, was that thing. Until I realized I wanted to be super rock and roll and have something with actual steel strings on it. And I realized that electric guitar was a thing. And then you're like, yeah, no more of that. So, yeah. Hey, everybody. How you doing? So I don't have a whole lot today. I just wanted to hang out and talk a little bit. So one of the things, so the idea behind the thumbnail was, of course, I've been playing a bunch of guitar lately, and I've been playing a bunch of different guitars. Anything from, that $2,000 Strat Telly that I just bought, and this new McPherson that I just got, to, this Affinity thing, or Sonic, whatever it is, thing. And these guitars that you play a lot, I find myself with a less expensive guitar, and it might not be the best at what it does, but it's the one that ends up in the living room, It's the one that ends up like, maybe it's because you don't worry about it so much, my really good acoustics, I'll make sure my pocket knife is out of my pocket and blah, blah, blah. But maybe those ones I don't worry about so much. And they're the ones that you just naturally sit down on the couch and just start playing. And man, I find myself playing them a bunch, and I've been really having fun playing the Close travel guitar, which is phenomenally good, and I have better carbon fiber guitars sitting right there, but that thing just is so good. Same thing with the electric guitar. I find myself playing that Squier guitar that I just got with this thing, nothing fancy. And we have tons of cool stuff here. We could play whatever we want, right? But I just find myself playing fun stuff. And I think, like, for example, that little Positive Grid amp, that's why I like it, is because it's fun. It's not like the best tone in the world or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care, because you can turn it over to whatever lead profile I have saved on there, and it's got some nice digital delay, and it just makes you sound awesome. Like, it makes you sound better because it's got this big arena sound to it. And then the headphones, you're just like, oh wow, this is fun, And I find myself plinking around with that stuff more, just because your brain doesn't worry so much about all this stuff that everybody worries about. and you just end up playing guitar, which is fun. It's kind of counterintuitive to everything that this channel and what I do for a living is about, but I don't know. I've been having way more fun with it. And of course, you know, I've been playing my McPherson Touring, the new one I just got, and that thing is probably the best guitar in the house right now. I don't have enough guitars to choose some over others. I alternate the Strat and the Mustang every other day so I can get used to playing multiple necks. That is very smart. Rob, you bring up a good point. Marty, Tonex just came in the FedEx. Very, very cool. You know, Rob, I think that's an important thing to do. I think people, and this is I'm just going to say it, moment is going to come pretty early today, but I think people who think they can only play certain neck sizes and fret sizes and fret radiuses and all that stuff are full of crap. And I think if it's a self-limiting, you are doing it to yourself. It's not because you can't. Because guess what? Other people in the world do it. Play whatever fret with small hands, with whatever. Other people do it. And you're a people, so you could do it too. You have a mental a mental block in your head that's telling you can't do something. And you're talking yourself into it. If you say, I can't play this fret size, I can't play this neck radius, I can't play this whatever, and you're only limiting your possibilities of your creativity. And here's the thing about it. Just because you can't play Eruption on a bigger, fatter neck than what you're used to with a little higher action and bigger frets doesn't mean you can't play that guitar. It just means you can't play Eruption on that guitar. I can't play Eruption, well, at all. I don't care to. But I can't play music like that on an acoustic guitar with 13s on it, but I don't care to. It's not that you it's not that you can't play a guitar. Allow yourself to play a different style of guitar differently. This is something that I'm really finding out, and why this video came up, because I'm having a lot of fun playing shorter scale guitars. The travel guitars that I have are like 22 3/4 scale. One of them has 12s on it, and the other one has 13s on it. So the string tensions are completely different. The neck profiles are completely different. The fret sizes are completely different. And as a result, I don't say to myself, I can't play this one guitar. I don't like this one as much as this one. I can't play this because it has blah, 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 or this doesn't have this. You sit down, you approach the guitar, and whatever comes out as a result of how you approach the guitar is how you play the guitar. And as a result, I play one guitar differently than the other. I choose to play a certain style on one differently than I do on the other. And as a result, I'm playing newer and different stuff and getting myself out of a rut, instead of saying, I can't play that guitar. I don't like it as much as this one because it doesn't have blah, blah, blah specs. People that do that are just limiting their entire guitar playing experience. And if you say you can't play something, you're just being dumb about it. That's all there is to it. And I know there's going to be somebody in the comments who's going to be like, yeah, but I have small hands and I really can't do it. Yes, you can. Because other people have small hands and they're people and you're a people. So we know it can be done. It's whether you choose to or not, and whether you're stuck in your ways too much to not allow yourself to just be different on two different guitars or different styles of guitars. Buy a guitar with a completely opposite setup on purpose so that you make yourself approach the instrument differently. And then practice that as you continue to explore new and different. It needs to be done. It needs to be done. Does anybody have the Positive Grid Go? It's on, they're starting to ship. I just got an email about that the other day. I'm glad you're part of the short scale gang. Dude, I'll play anything. I don't care. I'll play a baritone. I'm not as good at a baritone. I should get another one and spend some more time with it. See, but that's the thing. I could tell myself, well, I'm just not good at it and I don't want one. I need to get one and just kind of push myself and, and do that. Could you run a Tonex through an effects loop without any problems? Wondering about frying tubes. I wouldn't use it with an effects loop. It's kind of against, it's not what it's designed for, really. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Go too. I'm really excited about that thing. I haven't gotten mine yet, obviously. Thank you for the super chat. Just bought from Inson said, or Ison said. Sorry about me mispronouncing your name, but thank you for the super chat. Just bought a Yamaha Pacifica 611 HFM, not because I was looking for one, but because I played it at Guitar Center and it was super fun to play and I had to have it. See, isn't that cool? When I'm glad that you said that. Don't spec sheet read. Don't review read. Just, I would like to try one of those. I'm going to buy it. Like, whatever you're moved and inspired to play, just play it. Even if it's a cheap guitar, if it's an expensive guitar, it doesn't matter. And like, just put aside all the things that everybody tells you on the internet about you're not good enough to have an expensive guitar. All that stuff is stupid. What does Eric Cartman from South Park say? I do what I want. That's what I do. Guitars are tools, and as a carpenter for 20 years, I work with the tools I like. Life is too short. I would say that tools, yes, for people that play professionally, but they're toys for everybody else. For me, these days, I have some that are tools and I have some that are toys. Because I have some just because they're cool. I don't really need them. And I have some that I use for work. So I kind of have, and I basically say they are all tools for me because they're all testing. But in my mind, if I buy a D28 or a D35, it's just for fun. If I buy, don't tell my tax guy. If I buy, like this Telly I just bought, that's a work guitar, but it's also a toy. So I think that crosses over for some people. But I think, obviously, depending on what you use it for, I'm not ultra religious about it. I think some people go over the edge with that stuff, but, and it is therapy for sure. It does help people. Yeah, for sure. It is therapy. That is true. But every playing with a toy is therapy in general. Every hobby is, depending on how you approach it, if you approach it that way, and it takes modesty to know that you need therapy in the first place, right? And to know that's what you're using it for. So I think, I'm the same way with some of my other hobbies, I call it Netflix and sharpen. I'll sit and watch TV and sharpen a knife just because it's the therapeutic thing to do. Or I'll set up a guitar or, clean a gun or whatever it is. You're just sitting there and you're just enjoying your hobby, but you're, I don't know, just letting your mind go, So yeah, that is true. And playing guitar is the same thing, right? Or even working on them. For me, working on them is, a lot of people don't like changing strings. I love to change strings because that's what I do. I'll listen to a podcast or I'll watch a YouTube video and just sit there and, change strings. I really enjoy it. Oh, we got a super sticker. Pair character stretching his arm forward, rising his thumb. I love that. That's so funny because I can't see those. I can only see them. Thanks for being a huge resource. I really appreciate the value you do here. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thanks for the super sticker too, Patrick. I appreciate that a lot. Eric says he plays professionally, and yes, a good tool is essential, but you got to have them toys too. And yeah, don't tell the tax guy. Well, and you got to enjoy it. You have to have fun, some people, and I think this is where the cheap guitar folks get on my nerves. Where it's like, this guitar is just as good as this one, and you're only buying a brand name, blah, 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 blah. But you are overlooking the fun. You're overlooking the cool part. You're overlooking the bling that people enjoy. Like if I'm going to have something cool versus something that's just a thing, I want the cool thing. I want the cool thing. I think it's cool. Can it just be cool? Like, why not? Some stuff, I don't care. Some stuff I don't care if it's cool because nobody ever sees it. Like, I'm not a string junkie. Well, I guess I use string joys now, but I'm not a guitar pick junkie. How about that? I will use, as long as it's decent, not like those crappy ones, but like I'll use whatever guitar pick comes in a package. Like, when you buy something and they send you a free guitar pick, if it feels decent, I'll use it. I'm not like I have to have a $12 blue chip, whatever crap. I think they're cool and I like them, but I'm not like a guitar pick junkie. I'm also not I don't have to have a $75 capo. I don't care how expensive my guitar tuner is as long as it works. Like there's certain things I don't care about that much. But some things, gig bags, I don't care. I just want the gig bag to work. But some things are a purely functional need to be good, like a guitar cable. That's why we use Runway audio cables only around here because they need to be good. But then some things don't need to be expensive, like the actual guitar itself. It could be cheap and fixed up, or it could be a Les Paul that costs $3,200, or it could be a carbon fiber acoustic guitar with a camouflage top. Some of that stuff is just cool because it's cool. I got the camouflage top acoustic guitar because I wanted it. That's the only reason, because I thought it was cool. Did I need it? Not really, but I think it's cool. Oh, blue chips are 40. I don't even know. I don't care. I have a friend who has a bunch of them, and he left one at my house one time, and I played it for a while, and he asked for it back, and I gave it back to him, and that's all the experience I have with it. Now, the Mastodon Tusk thing is cool. That is true. Is the Epiphone Firebird going away? Their website doesn't have them, and they are disappearing from dealers. That is a good question. I would say that it probably will go through. Gibson does this thing where they cycle. It has like these cycles. There's a reason for it, I'm sure. They're doing a bunch of changing up of stuff right now, and I would imagine that they're going to come out with some kind of better series or something more vintagey or who knows what. They're going to do something. I'm sure they'll do something. Dylan, I'm going to do a 335 kit. What pickup would you recommend? I wanted to have classic 335-esque sound. No, dude, I would do not P90s. I would do DAFs. 100%. If you have an Epiphone Sheridan, if you have a Epiphone Dot 335, any of those 335 models, if you've got a Firefly or any of those, the off-brand ones, even the Ibanez Art Core series, DAFs. That's what I would put in there. I would not order the vintage ones. I would get them potted because we have a vintage one and a modern one. The wind and the magnets and everything are exactly the same. The only difference is one's not wax potted and it has that stupid braided wire on it, but everybody likes it, so I did it. And then the other one has the normal like 4-way, it's like the normal 4 conductor wire like this, and they're wax potted. So that's what I would get. I would not get the non-wax potted one, especially in a hollow body guitar. 100% for sure. Oh, and somebody else is saying DAFs too. Yeah. Oh, and he's got his in an Ibanez hollow body, which is exactly what I was thinking. Any of that stuff, I would definitely recommend. Yep. The other thing about what guitar you want to play, I think it's also like, I don't know, when I get into a hobby, I kind of go all in, right? You have no idea. I'm pretty obsessive about stuff, and I want to have, what happens with me, I think, is I over research because I don't like to buy things and then be wrong. I mean, I don't mind being wrong. And of course you learn over and over, after doing something over and over. But like, for example, in the knife stuff, I would rather do a bunch of research and learn what I like before I go buy a bunch of stuff that I don't like and then have to resell it and start over. Where I think a lot of guitar players will settle instead of save a little bit and get what they actually want. I mean, I think you should get a guitar. I think you should have something and play right away. But I think the whole trying to get monetary value out of an instrument is kind of stupid. Unless you're a flipping guy. But if you're a flipping guy, you're doing it for a different reason. But I would rather somebody do a bunch of research, learn a bunch of stuff, really fall in love with a really cool guitar, and then spend 12 or 14 months or whatever it took, who knows, saving up and buying that guitar instead of buying a bunch of junk that's just kind of getting them by. Now it's different if you're on this aspirational path of, I'm going to buy, this $400 guitar and then I'm going to get another one and work my way up. That's really cool. But I think the saving money for the purpose of getting value out of something like this one's just as good as that one makes no sense to me. I think it takes the fun out of it. If you're just trying to get something because it's cheaper or good enough for the money or just as good as something more expensive for the money, you're shortchanging yourself mentally and you're taking the fun out of the fact that you're dreaming about this very cool thing that you want. Now, if you can't afford it or you're in a situation where you're not willing to spend it, even if you could afford it, then you get what you can get so you can play. Any guitar is better than no guitar, mostly. But that aspiration, I really preach that. I think it's really important. And I know a lot of people think that I'm really snobby about that, but it's not about the snobby thing. It's about what are you dreaming of right now? Like, what do you want? Get the thing. Patience, hard work, get the thing. Even if it takes you a while. But at the same time, find value in the stuff that's not the best, like we've been talking about earlier. And finding value in it isn't about the money. It's about, like even if you go get a Les Paul or a custom shop Strat, don't get rid of your cheap guitars because you're going to find a sound for them. You're going to find a place for them. You're going to find thing about them that's very fun, and they're still going to do a thing for you. Just because you got a more expensive guitar, I believe it shouldn't make you dislike the one that you already have, because that thing still does what it does. And I'll just allow it to be different. It's not better or worse. It's just you're allowing that cheaper, cool, fun guitar. You know, I've got some here that I think are great. And I don't neglect them because I have something more expensive or nicer. You know what I mean? Yeah, we like everything. I like most all guitars. There's a few that I obviously, as you are well aware, that I'll stay away from. You know, counterfeit stuff and some knockoff stuff like that. But that's more a principled thing than it is if they're good or not. I just don't care. And if I don't like something, I just don't like it. It's not that it's bad. I think that's another thing that people get wrong about, well, people on YouTube in general, and I'm not a guitar hero, but I'm saying when we are thinking of our guitar heroes, I think people think that something is good because somebody else likes it, or it's bad because somebody else doesn't like it. Just because a reviewer says the Tonex isn't good, or just because somebody says, you know, doesn't agree with me about the Squier Sonic being good, doesn't make me wrong. It doesn't make them wrong either. It's just a matter of whether a lot of people will say something is bad because it doesn't have a use in their arsenal of things that they're using. And I just believe that there's no bad gear. For the most part, there is no bad gear. Very little gear fails these days. And very little gear does not do what the company marketed it to do. If it's not marketed for you, that's a whole different... My nose is so itchy. I don't know why. I'm like having all kind of trouble today. Sneezing and coughing and nosy, itchy nose. Yeah. I do know what a keeper guitar is. That is true. Yeah, set up too. Set up. I just want a collection of Dylan pickups. Well, you're on your way, I think. I think you are on your way. Any advice for what to do? Put question marks in front of these questions, please, so I can see them. For what to do when you strip the screw heads on a Telecaster neck pickup and now doesn't want to raise into position when I tighten it. It sounds to me like you probably going to need a new pickup, because if it doesn't raise up, then that means the pickup is probably stripped out. And unless it's an American one, it's probably plastic. You could try to like fill it with super glue, but I doubt it'll work. What is your favorite guitar design? Got a super chat from Shane Draper. Thank you, Shane. I didn't see a question with it, but I will look for one. I will look for a question. My favorite design. I don't know that I have one. I mean, a Martin D35. If you want to be real, if you really want to talk, my favorite guitars are acoustics. So, is it wood? Let's see. Any chance you've had a chance to read my email concerning pickup recommendations for the TTG class in March? Shane, let's talk about that right now, because all right. So you are building let's see. You want to build an offset. So you want to build something kind of smaller than an offset. A single coil in the bridge. But you want to split it with a push-push pot or do some sort of creative wiring with a 5-way switch. Well, that wouldn't be a single coil pickup. If it was me, I would do I was really confused about this. If it was me, honestly, I would put center punch humbuckers in it. If you want wiring craziness and do cool stuff, if you're going to do, and you would still get a good single coil sound because our center punches do that, then you would end up having, God bless, what is going on? Yeah, because the Telemaster thing that you showed me is just 2 single coils. So there's not a whole lot you can do with switching there. It's pretty simple. It's not a lot. There's not a lot there. So if you wanted to do something with a bunch more fun stuff, either 3 single coils, single hum, or 2 center punches. And then we could do push pulls and out of phase and all kinds of fun stuff. Which I could help you with at that point. But if it was me, I would put 2 center punches in it. If you want something that is more versatile, that has more choices and has more overall fun. All of that being said, you're probably never going to use half of it. Everybody wants all that crazy stuff, and not very many people actually use all of it. Yeah. My favorite electric guitar is probably the Tele. Tele or Strat, I would say. My favorite acoustic guitar design is definitely a McPherson. In their wooden or in their carbon fiber varieties, I would go both ways. Center punch, single center punch. Yes, that would be cool. Hum, single hum, center punch, single center punch. That would be cool. That being said, you would have to buy that because we will not make that during the class. You'll still make 2 P90s during the class. So you'll have to buy that separately. But that would be really, really cool. That's what I would do. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. Hum, single hum. Esquire or Tele? So I am, and this goes back to everybody should be able to play every kind of guitar. Everybody should be able to drive a stick. Everybody should be able to shoot every brand of gun. Everybody should be able to know how to use all things, right? Within a hobby. I think it's important. Even if some's not their favorite, I think they should all be able to do it all. Over time, you should learn those things. So along with the all fretboards, all fret wire, all neck radius, that kind of stuff. The other thing going along with that, I believe, is every person at some point in their life, for at least a little while, should own a 1 pickup guitar. I think everybody should buy a 1 pickup guitar and use it because it will teach you more about how electronics works in a guitar, and play it into a Princeton or some low wattage amp and learn what the volume and tones do. Really understand the volume frequency response change, the filter that happens with the volume knob, what happens with all of that stuff. I think it's really important for people to learn that. And it's the best way is with an Esquire or a Les Paul Jr. Don't mind buying it. Just wanted to make sure I have uses for, okay, cool. Very cool, Shane. Yeah. And hit me up ahead of time and I'll give you the there's a discount code that'll give you a couple of bucks off of that. So, yeah, I'm all about a single pickup guitar. I think everybody should have one. I have I think I have 4 right now. I really like them. I like a single pickup guitar. I think it's really important. Kevzilla, ooh, you found a Firebird on Reverb. Excellent. Very cool. We are starting to ship our Firebird pickups as we speak. They are starting to go out. I think we wound a bunch today. We got to wind some more tomorrow. Yeah, very cool. I do not have a Kramer Beretta. I did have a Kramer, what was that thing? The purple one, SGH1 or whatever that is. If you have a treble bleed, does the response from the volume knob stay the same? No. That is a common misconception. What it does is it sort of does the opposite of a tone knob, where it starts to take the lows out of the signal and it retains treble, but it takes the lows out of the signal the opposite direction and it makes it very thin. I don't like treble bleeds for that reason, because basically the complaint is that when you turn the volume down, the highs start to go away. Okay? When you put a treble bleed on it, the opposite happens. It cuts the lows. That's basically all it does. It like flips the tone knob backwards, or it flips it to a different spot. And then the lows start to go away. And yes, the highs are retained, but then the sound just gets thinner and thinner and thinner. I hate that. I think it's stupid. I don't like it at all. I'll never use it. I'm not saying I'll never, because I think my PRS has one on it. I just left it on there, but I don't like it. And I will not put them on my guitars. I won't do it. Yeah, I just won't. I won't do it. I like the fact that as the volume comes down with the volume knob, not only do the highs go away, it's not just that, but the resonant peak of the circuit moves. And so you get a different tone from your guitar. Play an LP Junior or a Esquire for a while and play with that. You will find that it is a lot of dimension there, because that resonant peak of that circuit changes as that voltage comes down. Guitar to buy if you like the telly sound but not the ergonomics. Neck dive. Tellys don't neck dive. You have a goofy strap or something. Tellys don't neck dive. SGs don't neck dive either. People make that up. Let's see. Look at the new Squier Affinity Telly. Yeah, except that has a humbucker in it. Do they have a Esquire with one pickup with a one single coil pickup in it? You could just take the neck pickup out and put Esquire wiring in it too, which is, for $200 that would be a thing to do. You cannot post pictures on here, so we wouldn't be able to see that. Do it in the Facebook group. If you go to Dylan Talks Tone Facebook group, you could do it there. SGs don't dive. So here's my thing about SG dive. I don't let go of my guitar. I don't know about you, but I play with two hands. When my hands are on the guitar, it doesn't dive. It's a non-problem. It's like one of these, okay, so if you're trying to get the audience to clap, and you let go of your guitar, okay, I can understand that. But you are not AC/DC, so you probably don't usually need to do that. Like, no offense or anything, or full offense, however you want to take it. But my guess is that you're not like trying to get the audience to clap. I play with two hands. Most people play with two hands. Typically, when you have two hands on the guitar, the neck ain't diving. Simple as that. And then SG is so light. I never understood that. I never understood that. Now, one guitar that could be that way and feel a little weird is an Explorer. They can kind of be sort of funny, or a Firebird, because the balance of the guitar is in a weird spot. But it won't necessarily be neck dive as much as it is just the way it hangs on the strap is a little weird. I never understood that. Don't let go. No wonder people are breaking Gibson peg heads all the time. It's because they're letting go of their guitars to see if there's neck dive. Like, two hands on the handlebars, play the friggin' thing. Ooh, Epiphone, anything right now, I would buy. I see some of these wanting to, man, my nose is so itchy. What is going on? I've seen somebody asking about a SG or a Epiphone LP worn. I would buy anything Epiphone right now. Anything above about $600. There is a really low, and I would still buy these. Just not for me or you who are trying to constantly improve your guitar game. They have some student Epiphones that are like $449 and below, and then they get into like some bolt-on stuff, which would be very entry level. So if you were going to buy this new Sonic Esquire for a student, if they were a Gibson person, I would buy the Epiphone version that's in that same price range. But I wouldn't buy it for you because you're a person who is trying to constantly up their guitar game. And you're probably, even if you are a newer guitar player, and I don't know if you are, but even if you are, you're probably kind of above that level because you're here talking to us. So I would start with the 749-ish sort of fixed necks, not bolt-on Epiphone stuff, and go up from there. But anything else, any of those would be really good. Nothing a good leather strap won't fix. That is really true. Awesome. Cool. Very cool. Well, you guys, this has been a fun one. I really appreciate everybody hanging out with me. Tomorrow we're gonna have a live stream because it's Wednesday. I keep forgetting we usually do these on Tuesday. There's where I'll disagree with Dylan. Neck dive. I don't know. Play your guitar. It won't neck dive when you're playing it. And what's really funny is people that play SGs don't complain about it. They just play them. So it's one of those things. I think people hear about a problem. They assume it's a problem. And this is the other thing. I could go on about this for a very long time, but I will not. I'll just give you the synopsis version. I am convinced. I'm not convinced. I know it's a fact that there are guitar players, and I know there's some of you in the comments right now, who make up your mind about something, or who constantly look for things to dislike about a guitar just so that you can say that thing. Like, I don't know. I can't think of an idea, but neck dive might be a little bit subjective, but there is a bunch of other stuff that's just like, okay, I know this is a good guitar, and somebody's going to get in the comments on a particular review. I know it's good, and they're going to just say it's crap because they want to believe it, not based on anything. The neck dive is kind of a thing. You guys, this has been super fun. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, Angus Young seems fine with it. And he's a very small man, I should mention. And he wears shorts on stage. Anybody that wears shorts on stage has other issues. And he doesn't seem to have any issues with neck dive. So, you guys, this is awesome. Thanks for hanging out. And we will see you tomorrow night.